Guys, welcome back. So this week we're following on our test of golf balls in the niche category. So we've done a lot with Encore and Vice, Snell.
Snell, yeah.
So one of the companies that was requested following that was Kirkland.
Tons of people asking about Kirkland. Tons of publicity last year all over the internet about.
It was a real big thing, wasn't it?
Their original ball that they released that was just crazy cheap and was kind of Pro V1-ish in terms of performance.
Well, it was a big. I first kind of caught wind of it through the My Golf Spy guys.
Yeah, they tested it thoroughly.
They tested it, and I think it must have really caught their attention because they were on the bandwagon with that for a long time, saying, we have this ball, we're testing it against a Pro V1, and it's half the price. You're going to be shocked at the results. They never alluded to what that results would be. Big difference or none, which turned out to be. None, or very little anyway. But that was the first time I caught wind of it was last year.
Yeah, same here.
Right. So the story goes, for those of you who haven't heard, obviously Costco got their hands on X quantity of golf balls out of this ball plant in Korea.
Blanks, essentially.
Yeah. Well, there's some rumors of it was some leftovers from another company.
Okay.
So
that will not be named.
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, I don't think it was ever confirmed.
No, never confirmed.
Who it came from or what it actually was, but came out of a factory in Korea, and it was a high-performance golf ball for the price.
Right.
So I think they came out at something like, $30 for 2 dozen.
2 dozen,
golf
yeah,
balls.
which is insane.
A buck a ball, basically. It's crazy. So they sold out their Costco sold out their quota of golf balls. There was a little bit of a lull while they went into sort of manufacturing the ball. They obviously that was maybe testing the market. There was clearly a market there for them.
Yeah.
And then they relaunched a different ball,
right,
which was really interesting. So that was obviously the nature of our test today, was to test the original 4-piece ball.
Yep.
Versus the current 3-piece ball.
So this is the original package that people should be familiar with.
Yep, the original black packaging, 4-piece.
Kind of made the whole market go nuts. That was this guy.
That was that one.
And then they've come out with this guy here, which is the 3-piece urethane ball.
Yeah, so a little change in the construction of the ball, and a big change in the performance of the ball.
Yeah, so again, another great test because I've never hit either of them. I had a friend of mine give me a couple, but they were just in my bag. I never ended up testing them, and certainly not in here.
Right.
So I wasn't sure what to expect, to be honest with you. But they definitely have made a lot of design changes. Aside from just saying 1 3-piece, 4-piece, I'm still surprised that there was that much difference between the two of them.
And guys, most of you will probably be familiar with this whole 3-piece, 4-piece story from Pro V, right? So you've got the Pro V1X 4-piece, Pro V1 3-piece. So you'll be kind of more familiar with that sort of narrative. So we kind of expected the golf balls to perform in that fashion.
Yeah, would make sense to anyway, right?
Exactly. That's kind of what we thought would happen. So let's take a little look at the sort of results. Well, firstly, we'll say the new 3-piece golf ball, the current one that they sell, is the highest spinning golf ball we have ever tested.
Which is crazy.
Ever.
Even more than Chrome Soft.
We thought Chrome Soft was the real peak of golf balls from a spin perspective. We hit 13,000 RPMs of spin on a sand wedge.
On a 58-degree wedge.
Yeah, which we've never seen that much before.
Right.
So the 3-piece spun around 13,000. The 4-piece was about 11,500, which for you is fairly standard stuff.
Yeah, I think that was a good performing ball.
Yeah.
Certainly not lacking in spin.
Plenty of drop and stop power. Maybe not ripping back off the green the way the 3-piece was, but it was kind of dropping and certainly checking up.
Yes, definitely.
So there was lots of stopping power on that. You're normally, I benchmark you around 12,000 normally with your golf ball.
With all the different tests we've done, I think the kind of mid to high spin balls, they've all been around 12 for me.
Exactly.
So it was interesting to see one that could make that. I mean, that's a big difference.
It's a huge difference. I mean, it was a huge difference. So let's kind of take a look at the 7-iron and see if that difference kind of followed into the middle irons. And it absolutely did.
Big time did, yeah.
Yeah. So a little kind of side note, Matt is playing his new irons now. Playing his new Strixon 765 irons. You tested the 4-piece ball first.
This guy first.
You're right.
Yep.
So Matt's first initial conversation with me was, do we need to add some more loft to these irons because the ball's not spinning enough? It was spinning at 5,500, which is, for most people who are familiar with that type of things, it's more like for you, be like a 6-iron.
I remember us having the conversation, 6-iron should be around there.
Should be around that 55 to 6,000.
And a couple 7-irons, I thought, like you need to take some loft off my 7-iron because it's not going to be functional.
The ball was knuckling a little bit. But it was launching up. It was launching up nicely. It was launching at 17 degrees with 5,500 spin, going your customary 190.
Right.
But it was a little bit hot at times. It was going too far.
Like I won't hit 7-iron unless I try to kill one from 190. Like 180 in the air to me is what I would be used to hitting a ball. So yeah, when we saw some getting up to 185 in the air and then some rollout, definitely a lower spinning ball.
So onto the current ball, and once you hit the current one, you no longer needed the lofts looked at.
Everything was fine.
Everything was fine. So the ball started spinning at 6,900, 1,400 RPMs more. And
that's like perfect spin basically for the 7-iron.
Pretty good, pretty good. I mean, a fraction high perhaps, but
but in keeping with it being a fraction high on the wedge, we saw it a fraction high here too
on the irons. So I mean, for me, that was such an interesting thing that a player could doubt their current set makeup based on what the ball's doing.
Totally
so,
true.
if you had just, if that was your golf ball, you would go, oh, geez, gotta have these, adjusted a little bit, or that type of thing. So, interesting that a ball can make that much difference that you actually have to adjust your equipment to suit.
Yep.
So, ball speed wise, quite similar. Actually, slightly more ball speed off of the 3-piece ball, but nothing crazy.
Nothing to speak of, yeah.
The driver was very interesting from a ball speed perspective. We never saw that much difference in sort of launch conditions, did we?
No.
They actually both performed really similar off the driver, which was surprising because we had saw obviously such a big change from wedge 58 degree to 58 and 7-iron to 7-iron. There was nothing in it really between the drivers, so 11 degrees of launch on both, 2,150 on the 4-piece ball and spin, 22, almost 2,300 on the 3-piece ball. So yeah, maybe 150 more RPMs has been fractional.
But we're looking at, this is like Pro V1 versus Pro V1 XL over again.
It's very
Isn't
true.
It, right?
Yeah, exactly. Very similar off the drivers. Guys, we say that to you all the time. That's why we don't want you testing golf balls off drivers, because they don't do that much different. The engineering behind the driver is kind of designed to do one thing now.
Well, it's like if I picked the ball off the driver, now my 7-iron would have been not good. Yeah. If I picked the 4-piece, because it's slightly better, obviously, for me with the driver. Right. Not good with the other clubs.
Exactly. So you found, interestingly enough, the ball speed off of the 3-piece. You struggled to get the ball speed up as high on the 3-piece.
So I'm going to ask you why you think that is, and I'm hoping it'll have something to do with compression, because people are asking about that a lot. And I don't know the answer. Is this a firmer compression ball, the 4-piece one?
I mean,
maybe.
We don't know enough about. It's not like we have enough knowledge about other golf balls in the market. Okay. Kirkland, not being a golf ball manufacturer, would never disclose to us their compression ratings.
You don't have a number for that.
Right. So we don't have, unless an independent company will do that test, we don't know. For you, I mean, we would certainly guess that the firmer 4-piece ball, your X ball, is producing more ball speed because it's firmer.
And we saw that a little bit with our Pro V1 X testing. I got like a mile an hour more out of that. So, I guess would be that this maybe is a little softer compression.
For the faster club head speed guys, the slightly firmer ball will give you a little extra ball speed.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, very different golf balls. For those of you who bought the original, I don't know if I'd be telling you to rush out and buy the new one. It's a very different golf ball. If you love the performance out of the original one, the new one's not the same. It's not the same at all.
And the converse of that is, if the original one was kind of too much of a knuckler for you, this one might be perfect for you.
Might be great.
If you want more like a Pro V1, this is the guy.
Exactly. That's exactly it. So depending on what you need, You know, I don't think you can go wrong if you're if you are the golfer who needs a slightly softer golf ball, who needs slightly more spin.
Yep.
Go grab a couple of dozen. They're a bargain.
I mean, for the amount of money this costs and how well that performed, it's actually ridiculous how good those are.
Yeah.
If you don't mind your ball saying Kirkland, then like go buy a cart full and stock up for a few years in case they stop making them.
One little side note, you use a really good spot on it. We were kind of trying to pick apart some differences in the two, and one thing you did pick up on the box was we knew the original was made in Korea.
Yes.
And then you spotted in the box that the new one is made in China.
Made in China.
So yeah, it's a different, obviously a different factory that it's coming from now. Even just looking at the cores, I mean, this isn't something we can translate into the video as well, but. Look at the cover. Look how different that cover is.
Yeah, the color of it, and just the way that is that what you're noticing mostly, the color?
So I'm noticing the color and the dimple construction. This looks like a much less premium golf ball when you see like a cover on an NXT or something like that.
True. This looks more like a Pro V1.
Pro V1 and that one looks like an NXT.
And yet this performs more like a Pro V1.
It does.
That's pretty bizarre.
Interesting, isn't it? So
yeah, I hear you.
There looks as if for me on the new three-piece ball there's less premium materials being used. That's
interesting.
Yeah. Sometimes you can kind of gauge from just actually looking at the golf ball and seeing it.
No, I hear you for sure.
Interesting stuff, guys. Again, it's performing pretty well.
Oh, really well.
It's good. It's great value. There's such a market nowadays for this golf ball. I'm not sure in the long run how the big companies are gonna be able to keep up with this. Obviously, their presence on tour and that sort of thing is the driving force for their sales.
Yeah.
But as time goes on and people are so aware of the performance of these other golf balls versus the budget available to people, it's going to make sense to give these a try.
If you can save yourself a few $100 a year on golf balls and spend it on like a super high-end golf course on your bucket list and get the same performance out of a ball, I don't see how you cannot make that decision.
It's a no-brainer.
It really is a no-brainer.
It's a no-brainer. Again, it's all going to come down to budget. The Pro V1, a TaylorMade, a Callaway, a Strixon, they're all phenomenal golf balls.
Absolutely.
As good, if not better in some areas. Depends on the golf or what you need.
Yeah.
But it's going to come down to your budget. It's going to come down to how many balls do you lose.
Exactly.
If you don't lose many golf balls, you might stick to your premium price golf ball because you don't lose that many anyway.
That's a good point, because so many comments, which I love reading because they're very honest. I lose a lot of golf balls. We've all been there. Sure. And I just don't want to lose $5 in the pond.
Yeah.
If you lose $1.10 in the pond, you're not going to be too upset about it.
Exactly.
Awesome. This is. I think it was pretty. I'm happy that we tested these because I never actually got to try them.
Yeah.
No. I might play a sleeve this weekend.
Big shout out to our viewer Raymond Tam who dropped
Raymond,
them in for us.
Thank you, Raymond.
That was really kind of Raymond, one of our viewers who came out of his way to drive over to TXG. And he said, I'd love you guys to test, based on what you've been doing, I'd love you guys to test these golf balls. I have some. Here you go. So
we appreciate it.
This one's dedicated. Big shout out to Raymond.
Thank you, Raymond.
Absolutely. Guys, let us know your comments if you've tried them. Let us know how it worked out for you. If you liked them, if you didn't like them, good things, bad things. We love reading that stuff.
Love to hear them.
Yeah, excellent. Guys, thanks so much. We'll see you again soon.